Good morning, students. Today we are doing 2.5b, and I'm going to ask you to turn to page 57, and we'll do a small little notes here since it's just a carryover from yesterday. So we're going to do a little notes section on page 57. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a problem from yesterday's homework, b squared plus 3b minus 54, and we are going to, today we are solving equations. So while yesterday that was what we had and we were asked to factor, today we actually have an equation and we're solving it. So now we have equals 0. So we start out by factoring it. So I'm going to find the factors for negative 54. I have 1 times 54. I have 2 times 27. I have 3 times 18. And I have 6 times 9. Okay, now since it's a negative, I need one of these pairs to be a negative and one to be a positive, and I need to come up with a positive 3 at the end. So negative 6 plus 9 is positive 3. So I have my parentheses. I know I have a b, so I'm going to have, since there's b squared, I have b in each of those, and then I'm going to have a negative 6 and a positive 9. Negative 6 and positive 9. All right, so that's what we did yesterday. We did the factoring. Now today, we're solving these equations. And since this thing equals 0, if I get this side equal to 0 or this side equal to 0, then my whole equation equals 0. So b minus 6 equals 0, and b plus 9 equals 0. If I make either one of these equal to 0, I will solve my equation. So add 6 to both sides. I have b equals 6 minus 9 from both sides. I have b equals negative 9. So there's my answers. B equals 6 and b equals negative 9. The most difficult part of this is to factor the equation, but once you get it factored, you turn it into two separate equations and come up with the answer. So that's the work that we're doing. Make sure you have the notes written here on the bottom of page 57, and then let's do a couple of these together. So let's start here with g squared minus 13g plus 40 equals 0. So I'm going to start off with my factors of 40. My factors of 40. 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 3, 4 and 10, 5 and 8, 6, 7. So there are all my factors that get me to a positive 40. Now, another thing is since it's a positive number, since it's a positive 40, both of these have to be positive or both of these have to be negative. But I can't have a positive and a negative. If I have a positive at the end, both of these operations have to be the same. So they're either both plus or they're both minus. So let's look here. I've got, negative 5 minus 8. So negative 5 times negative 8 is positive 40. Negative 5 minus 8 is negative 13. Now, please keep in mind, if you have a positive number here, these two have to be the same. They have to be the same. So keep that in mind. So for this one, when you have your parentheses, since this is a positive, these have to be the same. Now go ahead and try and solve this one and then come back and check and see if both of these are the same. They either have to both be negative or both be positive in order to get this as a positive. Okay. Coming back here, g minus 5 equals 0 and g minus 8 equals 0. So I split it into two equations. Add 5 to both sides, and I get g equals 5 plus 8 to both sides, and I get g equals 8. There you go. That's it. I'm going to let you do these two, and then I'm going to do number 16 because they throw a little bit of a trick in here. If you notice, this is not written in standard form. X squared minus x equals 30. So I have to write this in standard form first. So I have x squared minus x minus 30 equals 0. 30 minus 30 is 0. And now I have it written in standard form as an equation. So I'm going to take my negative 30 and find my factors. There are all my factor pairs of 30. And so since it's negative, I either need to leave them both positive or make them both negative. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is a negative 30. Negative 30. So one of these is going to be negative. One of them is going to be negative. Sorry about that. When this is negative, I'm going to have one of these be negative. When this is positive, they're both going to be the same. Either both positive or both negative. All right. So which of these gets me to a negative 1? So positive 5 and a negative 6. That gives me a negative 1. So plus 5 minus 6 equals negative 1. Turn this into two equations. X plus 5 equals 0. X minus 6 equals 0. Please make sure you're showing all of your work. X equals a negative 5. X equals 6. Please show all of your work. So if you notice, these two both require you to move this part over to make it in standard form. So I'd add 2 to both sides, subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, don't forget those steps. Please ask me if you have any questions. Ask me in the Zoom, email me, whatever you need to get this stuff done correctly. Right, and if you had no issues yesterday, today's homework should be pretty straightforward. Have a wonderful afternoon.